came in with the rising tide, one evening without a name. From a boat left drifting in the dusk, by the shoreline in the rain. Nobody saw where she'd come from, nobody asked where she'd been. She carried night inside her eyes and traces of salt upon her skin. She found the cabin by the headland, like she'd walked that road before, as if the wind had whispered softly and led her to our door. And she drew in silence behind the roses, while shadows climbed the cabin walls. Nobody knew what she was searching for, nobody knew what she'd been called. But the two old men kept sitting there, listening to the pencil move, like she was sketching something back to life the world had nearly lost. She never spoke much of herself, and we never learned her name. There was always sea mist all around her, like she carried part of the rain. Across her sheets of paper, strange old coastlines would appear, harbors no one could remember, lighthouses that weren't anywhere near. The roses stood between us like a crimson curtain drawn, close enough to see her hands at work, too far to see beyond. And she drew in silence behind the roses, while shadows climbed the cabin walls. Nobody knew what she was searching for, nobody knew what she'd been called. But the two old men kept sitting there, listening to the pencil move, like she was sketching something back to life the world had nearly lost. One night, when the wind changed direction, she opened an old leather book. Between the pages lay a drawing of the shoreline, of the boat, of the dog, and of us. Then we understood at last, she had known us all along. Perhaps before we knew ourselves, maybe that was why she'd crossed the water, not to be discovered, but to find us. For she drew in silence behind the roses, while the darkness settled on the bay. And we looked at one another like men do when truth arrives without a sound. The pencil finally came to rest. She laid it gently on the table, and without a single goodbye, the moonlight drew her back toward the sea. The next morning, the roses were still standing, but the chair was empty, and on the table lay a sketch of a sailboat heading for the horizon.